Hi class. First of all, I just want to say thank you to those of you that are taking the time to watch this video. You're being good citizens of our class and you'll be well prepared tomorrow for what we're going to be starting. So first of all, I just want to go back and review some of the things that we've been doing in class the last 3 days. They've been leading up and giving you some basic knowledge and background knowledge for what you'll have to do tomorrow. Well, let's see. Monday, we talked about the food groups. So we talked about fruits and vegetables and proteins and carbohydrates and dairy and those fats and oils. And we used that colorful My Plate to decide what kinds of foods would go in each one of those categories. We kind of talked about the food pyramid, which shows us how much of those foods we should be eating in a day, what a serving actually looks like. When you take those colors off that colorful plate and put them onto a pyramid, we were able to see kind of the kinds of foods and different breakdowns of how much we should be having for a healthy, balanced diet. Then you kept your food diary, so we could take a look at what you're actually eating in a day, see how you're doing and how that plays into what you should be having in a day to get all your nutrients in. Because remember, we talked about those nutrients in foods, those vitamins and minerals and the proteins and carbs and all those things that make up the foods, and how our body is able to use those and why we need each one of those nutrients, because they all do something different for our body, right? So it's important to have a balanced diet that incorporates all of those different things into it. So then you took that knowledge and you did some meal planning of your own. You worked on creating a whole day's worth of meals, and you made sure that it fit into that food pyramid, that it had the right number of calories, and that you were getting the right food groups and nutrients. Really important for a healthy, balanced diet. So we have the food pyramid, we have our nutrient dictionary, we have our My Plate colorful thing, and all those internet sources that you used along the way to get information. All of that will be great resources to create the next project that I'm going to describe. In addition to that, anything else you can find is awesome. Okay, so to go on and describe your next project, you're going to be working with a partner. Remember, I showed you the sheet with your assigned partner at the end of class yesterday. So that will be your partner for this project. And you're going to be creating a brochure. You're going to use Google Docs for that. And I'll get more into that in a refresher on how to make a brochure on Google Docs in a little bit. But first of all, the brochure that you're creating needs to be a pamphlet. And a brochure, remember, is the 3 sections of paper, and then we fold it and people can open it up and look into it. I will have some sample brochures in the classroom tomorrow. You can also just Google online and they will have lots of examples of brochures to give you a starting point to kind of know what they're supposed to look like or what the brochure entails. This brochure is all about healthy eating. So you can include healthy eating tips. You can include some benefits, some facts, quotes from people on healthy eating. You know, things like that you find online. It's really great in brochures if you can have some graphs and some data to back up your information, pictures, make it really eye-catching so that people want to look at it. Think about some of the resources and the things you looked at to get your information and how colorful that food pyramid is and that My Plate, and they use the colors and the graphics to really get your attention. So think about that when you're creating your brochure, because we will be printing these out and then we are going to hand deliver. We're going to take a little trip at the end of the week and take these to the local hospital and also maybe some doctor's offices. We'll see where we are able to get to, but they will be looked at by other people, and you are going to be helping people out with healthy eating tips. So put a lot of thought in this and do a good job. Okay, so now that you kind of know what's supposed to be in your brochure, remember it's all about healthy eating, just like we've been talking about all week. So to do a brochure, you're going to go into Google Docs and you're going to insert a table, and it's going to be a 3x1 table so that you have 3 sections going across your paper. Before you put the table in, you should go into page setup and switch it to landscape. We did a brochure, but it was way back at the beginning of the year, so I just want to give you a little refresher. So remember, we're going to change it to landscape so that it goes along the paper, not up and down. Change those margins so you can maximize the whole use of the paper, and then put in your column. Do 2 pages, because remember, one is the inside of your pamphlet And the next page has the things that will appear on the outside, the back side of your pamphlet when you fold it. So in order to get it to be front and back, remember when you print, you're going to do a front to back copy. Okay? But before you print, you're going to get my approval. You're going to work on this brochure for 2 days. Then you will get my approval after 2 different groups have kind of reviewed it for you. I'll review it too. Then you'll get the okay to print. Okay? So we'll make sure it's all formatted right and done before that. I will include in your list of resources, I will include a little tutorial video that I found on how to make the brochure on Google Docs. Like I said, those steps are pretty simple, but if you want that little video refresher, I'll give you that link, so no problem. Also, we are going to be doing research. We're going to be on computers, so we need to really remember those digital skills. We've been working so hard on those, and I know you've been working on them. You worked on them last year in 3rd grade, so but they're really important things to know. So as you are researching, remember we're going to find relevant, reliable sources. Make sure you're looking at who gave you the information and whether or not that site is somewhere where we can trust that information. We don't want to be giving out false information, especially when we're going to be giving other people healthy eating tips. We don't want to give them the wrong information. And also when you are finding your research and including it in your brochure, we want to make sure we give credit. Even if you have to list it right there in your brochure, you're going to say, okay, this information came from this website. This person wrote about this tip. Okay, so we really want to make sure we give them credit. Okay, they're probably not your healthy eating tips. You probably found them somewhere on the internet. So we need to give that person credit for that, right? And we're going to be respectful of our fellow classmates when we're collaborating. And we're going to be good citizens when we use the internet, just like that, right? Give credit. Make sure they're reliable sources. We're going to be using a different type of technology than you're real comfortable with. Like I said, we did do a brochure early in the year, but it's been a while. But it's good to learn those different techniques and those different ways we can use Google Docs to do different things. It's really cool. We can make a brochure. Okay? And like I said, we will be delivering these. They do have an audience. It's not just the teacher looking at this. There will be an audience as far as people coming into doctors' offices and hospitals that really want some healthy eating tips. So work hard. I know you're going to show me some awesome brochures. Can't wait to get started tomorrow.